Moin! Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's Mace, coming to you from beautiful Canada, and today we're checking out a video from Penguin and Pia Travel, their first impressions of Canada from Germans, or I'm not sure if one of them is German or both of them are German, but yeah, let's check this. Let's check this out. This will be interesting from my perspective. I'll be able to give my perspective and what I can relate to that they notice. There's certainly a lot of big differences when you come from a place like Germany to Canada, or Europe to Canada, or North America in general, I would say. Canada's a lot different than the States. I loved one of your comments I saw recently. It was, what borders on stupidity? Canada and Mexico. Oh, man. Okay, let's get it.
Hi, everyone.
This is Eric.
And Lisa. And today
we're going to talk about Canada.
Yeah.
Which I'm super excited about.
More specifically, we're going to talk about my first impressions when moving to Canada.
Yeah, so I guess for the better part of a year, we lived in Canada. We've talked a few times about sort of, I guess, differences that we've noticed. And so we wanted to put some together into a video and see what other people thought as well. Guess we're just going to dive right in.
So the first point is the distances are greater, which...
The distances are greater. Canada is massive.
Makes a lot of sense because Canada is literally the second biggest country in the world.
Yeah, we have a lot of space.
When you talk about a 3-hour drive, it's like not that far for you. Whereas for me, it's like 3 hours. It's a long time.
Yeah, that's funny. We refer to a 2.5, 3 hour drive as like, that's not that far. We can do that in a day. Whereas in Germany or Europe, you could go to like 4 different countries and have lunch and dinner and breakfast. Like,
We're driving from Toronto to Kingston. It's like no big deal.
It's not crazy far, but
it's not short.
No, it's not a short drive. And related to that, public transport outside of the big centers is not that great.
In fact, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Totally.
Well, basically,
I think I've spoken about this a lot on my channel about our lack of public transportation outside of the metropolitan areas. And it's not that it's non-existent, it's just it's not convenient at all. And unless you live along a lot of these routes, it's going to be annoying getting to work. You're either going to have to bike to the bus where the bus will pick up, or the bus lanes, or you're going to have to walk. Like there isn't a lot of convenience if you're in a smaller city with Canadian public transit. If you're in Vancouver or Victoria or Calgary or Toronto or Montreal, yes, they have good public transit systems, very good public transit systems, especially Vancouver. Like I find it to be fantastic. But you go over to the island or you go up a little bit farther north and it's like, it's crap, man. It's not good.
What we've noticed is that, or what Lisa noticed is that in metropolitan centers like Vancouver or like...
Also, honestly, I think it has a lot to do with our like population, which is not big, right? We have 40 million people. And then when you contrast that with just how much space we have, there's a huge lack of population density in the smaller towns. So I think economically it can be difficult to have really robust public transit. And I guess that's just a model of the way our towns and cities are spread apart, and the people that don't live in metro areas or metropolitan areas struggle, or they have to rely more so on a vehicle, right? The thing is, I think 99% of Canadians live within 25 kilometers of the American border, something like that. We all live closer to the southern part of Canada. It's warmer. I have a very temperate climate here. I live 5 minutes from work, 5 kilometers from work. I can bike, I can walk, I can run. It works for me. I'm in the mountains in 5 minutes. I'm at the ocean in 5 minutes. I'm at the lake in 5 minutes. And there's not a ton of people, which is the way I like it.
Toronto, public transportation is great. As soon as you get outside of those metropolitan centers, there is no train.
So you really need a car.
You have to rely on a car.
And that's different for me because in Germany, even if you live in a smaller town,
You still
they
have transit.
still have train stations. So you can take the train. Maybe it only runs once an hour, but it runs.
It's
so
still a possibility.
yeah, you
which
don't need to have a car. Good thing that you have a car.
Yeah, it's a good thing that I have a car.
Which brings us to the
Although, to be fair, I will mention that we do have... Oh, what happened?
next point.
We do have a bus route that goes between the cities here. Like, it runs, I think, 4 or 5 times a day. And I'm talking about a distance of about 60 kilometers. So 30 to 60 kilometers, depending on which cities you're traveling in between. But there is a bus route. So there is a way to do it. And it's very cheap. So there's that. I will mention that we do have options. And there is bus routes. They're just not as good as the one, or frequent. I think just the frequency goes down and the quantity goes down. So there's that.
Gas is a lot cheaper in Canada.
It's actually double what it would be per liter in Europe compared to home.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that depends on the day and the
exchange rate.
fluctuation.
We're about
and all
$1.50
that,
Canadian
but
right now.
generally, yeah, you pay half the
Yeah.
price in Canada.
So, I mean, last time we were home, it was around like 105, 110, 115, up to 120, and then summer prices 130, 140. Oh, that gets really high, which admittedly that is high per liter. In places in Europe, it would be
Like €1.40 or so for a liter.
which is like 2 CAD a liter. So
Yeah, more or less.
it's a lot more
So
in Europe. So Canadians, we can actually be happy that our gas prices are relatively cheaper.
okay.
All right, next one.
How old is this video?
Another thing that's not that cheap in
6 years
Canada
ago.
is
Okay.
cell phone plans.
Gas
Oh,
prices
yeah.
have changed.
Cell phone plans suck
In-
in Canada.
In Germany and most countries in Europe, it's possible to get a cell phone plan for like €10 a month. So that would be like 15 CAD a month.
Whereas in Canada, it takes like 50, 55 CAD a month to get maybe a gig or 2 of data.
I mean, maybe they're better.
I don't know if things have changed. Like, my current cell phone plan is $50 Canadian a month. Unlimited data and unlimited texting and calls and stuff. Let me know your guys' opinion on that. Like, is that super high or low?
Plans now, it's a lot more expensive.
Now with things like Freedom Mobile really sort of pushing into the space and trying to give people like big data, like 5 and 10 gig, that's awesome. But there is a monopoly on telecommunications in
Yes.
Canada. Cell phone prices and plans.
There is a
are so
monopoly.
expensive.
On
Rogers,
a more
tell
positive
us.
note, though, people are generally very friendly.
That's true. We are typically a friendly bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, every country has their annoying apples, but like generally Canadians are pretty happy-go-lucky, friendly people.
yeah.
Do you remember the guy in the ATM line? Remember when we were standing there trying to put money in, and that guy just whipped around and just started chatting with us?
Oh
The
yeah.
big guy.
I agree. Like, I'll just tell one really quick story. A few winters ago, I got stuck in this road in my Jeep, and it was really snowy. We had like lots of snow. And I went up a road I probably shouldn't have went up. It wasn't plowed. And I got stuck, and I'm like, damn, I'm outside of my car. I got like I don't know what I had. I had something from the back seat that I was trying to like dig under the tires. And then all of a sudden this truck pulls up, a group of people get out of the vehicle, and they're all, hey, we're here to help you. And they got shovels, and they're just driving around helping people that were stuck in the snow. And, you know, they got me out in a couple minutes and said, big smiles on their faces, super friendly, super nice. And that's happened multiple times in my life. And I think it really is true. Like, Canadians certainly have a less selfish nature to them, I'd like to think. And I hope that doesn't change, and I hope it comes across. And the Germans that I've seen visiting, like when I worked at the airports, I used to see Germans often flying in and, you know, interacting with them at the counters and with their cargo and their whatever they might be bringing with them, if they had bikes or their luggage. And they're always super friendly, super polite, and just pleasant people.
Yeah, which is another point. Small talk is really a thing. And
How's the weather?
First of all, I'm not really that used to small talk. And I'm also a more introverted person.
been
so
pretty rainy
I don't
this
just
last
start
week, eh?
talking to everyone. So it took some time.
How
for
about
me
those Canucks?
to get used to?
It's not that everyone talks
No.
all the time. Like, it's not like everyone is standing in line just chit-chatting away, but it
It's more common.
does happen. Whereas in other countries, particularly Germany, it just doesn't happen.
I mean, it happens every once in a while,
Every
but
once in a
just
while.
not
Not as much.
No.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
so
you do it too. Sometimes. Maybe I'll get better at it.
it takes
in the
practice.
kitchen. Yeah. Just have to practice.
I think it's showing an interest in
Thanks
people
for
to some
believing in
degree,
me.
being
Tea
friendly
break.
or whatever.
Tea break.
We've had tea in every
Yeah, it's become a
single
thing that we
video.
drink tea in our videos, which, for the record, I do also really love coffee.
Coffee, good
Drink.
point.
Oh yeah.
Speaking
point.
about Canada and coffee,
Tim Hortons.
there's literally Tim Hortons
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I mean,
Not
Timbits
really.
are
It's not.
pretty good.
Timbits are
yeah,
good.
so a lot of people, yes, Timbits are very good. A lot of people are critical of Tim Hortons coffee because admittedly it isn't that good. Some people are also critical of their baked goods, saying that they've gone down in quality over the years because they're, you know, made from frozen and whatnot. But Timbits are still really good. When Lisa first came to Canada, one of the first places we went was Tim Hortons, and I had her try an iced cap and a Timbit,
Yeah.
and a chocolate Timbit.
Yeah.
And you,
I like them.
I do like my
It's
chocolate
nice in the summer, but It's
Timbits.
also very sweet.
it's very sweet.
I don't like
It was
ice
hot,
caps.
though.
Too
So,
sweet.
An
I
iced cap
agree.
in the summer is like
Yeah.
beautiful.
It was pretty good.
Oh, so is a Caesar, and that's, I love a Caesar.
Yeah.
Good.
A Caesar. Yeah, is that not a thing in Europe? You guys know what a Caesar is? Let me know in the comments. It's one of my mom's favorite drinks. Caesar. She'll make, can you make me a Caesar? And I'll go make her a Caesar in the kitchen during the holidays or whatever it is we're doing. Playing some cards. Is cards a thing? Do you guys play cards? Let me know.
A good Caesar.
No, you make good Caesar.
It's the Canadian version of a Bloody Mary.
Oh, right.
Made with a slightly different kind of tomato juice because the tomato juice has clam in it. That's basically the difference. It's called clamato, and it's delicious. No,
I don't really like Caesars at all.
Next one.
Another thing I noticed is more specifically to you, but I mean your mom does it, and maybe lots of other people.
Oh, I know
do
what
it
you're
too.
talking about.
Just saying a lot.
Hey.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
It's a
You guys have probably
Canadian
noticed me saying
stereotype
it as
that
well.
We say A. I say A. I do say A a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy,
just like
eh?
it's just an affirmation. It's just
Yeah.
like a tack on as to what you're saying. And hey, the Buds were great last night, eh? Like it's just I don't know. You
The
just-
Buds were great last night, eh? He's talking about the Toronto
Yeah,
Maple
it
Leafs.
Okay.
In case you're
Next
wondering.
point, very Canadian as well.
What's that?
Hockey is super important, and honestly, I can't believe how many games there are in a season.
I love
82.
hockey.
I mean, I like it too, but like I'm used to soccer, having grown up in Germany and Europe in general. Just it's all about soccer or football, depending on where you're from. But in a season,
For whatever sport in Europe or whatever, like, yeah, that you go crazy about, that the fans, the atmosphere is crazy, that is Canadians with hockey. We are hockey crazy, and I think we always will be. It's part of the fabric of Canada. We play in the winter. We play ball hockey, street hockey in the summer. And it's just, yeah, we live, eat, breathe, sleep hockey. That's just, it's the way it is, man. Put it top shelf, eh?
you have like 30 something games, and then obviously international games as well, and then you have like German like league things. So there are multiple, like a lot of games as well, but not close to
82.
not
Yeah.
82 games in a like, and then
Like-
teams dropping off.
No.
No.
Like every team has to play 82 games.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Which is awesome. And it's funny over here that you have to
It's a lot.
say, if someone says hockey, depending on the person, you might have to say ice hockey.
Yeah.
Because if you say, oh, like I was watching hockey or playing hockey, they might think field hockey.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, people don't typically play field hockey. It's a university sport, and it's played in a few sort of smaller leagues, but generally the only hockey is ice hockey. But we would never say ice hockey because there's kind of only
There is field hockey, it's just referred to as field hockey.
one main hockey in Canada.
Yeah,
Whereas over here, you have to differentiate
that's true.
between ice hockey and field hockey. Go Leafs, go.
The Canadian
Go
money
Canucks,
is
go.
made out of plastic.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Polymer.
And I honestly, I didn't know that
Yeah.
until you showed me.
It's like Monopoly money.
Yeah, it's kind
Or
of convenient.
Australian money,
Wait, what is the Euros made out of? It's not polymers?
which is also in plastic.
Yeah,
But they're definitely more convenient because if you leave a bill in your pocket in the wash,
yeah.
not going to disintegrate.
But generally, you don't even really use cash that much anyway, because
Which is a good segue into the second point.
in Canada, a lot of people use credit cards or their debit cards for pretty much everything. Whereas in Germany, I mean, we touched upon that in our...
Must knows when traveling.
Yeah, we've touched upon this, I feel like, in a lot of prior videos, and I really don't carry cash that much anymore. It's just what's convenient for me. That's just me. I know a lot of people in Germany have mentioned it's a little bit different, but some of those may be slightly anecdotal. I don't know if it's been changing. You got to remember this video is also 6 years old, so I'm sure things are changing quite a bit. But let me know, do you use cash on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or like how frequent is your cash use? Do you use credit cards? Do you find credit cards convenient? Or do you prefer cash?
To Germany
for the first time. In that video, we mentioned that Germans really like their cash and don't really like using credit cards or debit cards. In Canada, that's very different.
Yeah. We're slowly moving away from a cash society and becoming cashless. Whether that's good or bad, we'll see.
We'll see.
In the coming years, I guess.
Another thing I just remembered, it
Probably
can get
bad.
really cold. And I lived
The government's
in Minnesota for a while,
track
so
every
I
single
knew
transaction
how
that's happening.
cold it could get in that part of like the world, but I was not really prepared for just how cold it can be.
Or I should say
not all
tax
the time,
every single transaction.
but sometimes.
We also lived in Ontario, which is the West Coast doesn't have as much fluctuation, whereas Ontario has the lakes and has this extreme seasonal fluctuation of plus 30 in the summers. And
Yeah, we often see, the West Coasters, we often can pick on our people that live in the prairies or in the east coast of Canada. Like, it's still snowing and we're like outside in t-shirts and shorts and going swimming, and it's hot. It's like already sunny and beautiful, and then they're like having a blizzard or something.
and minus 25, minus 30 in the winter.
But we pay a pretty penny
Pretty
to
much
live out
all
here.
of what I've been saying or what we've been talking about is pretty much relevant for Ontario because I've never been on the West Coast.
We went to Montreal.
Yeah,
and
that
Ottawa.
was it. So
Come to Vancouver.
That's pretty much it. That's all the observations I had, and I know there's probably so many things that I can't remember now.
But those are things that we've kind of talked about.
And it's also probably going to be different for everyone. So
Yeah.
those are just like
You're
our
gonna notice.
experiences.
Yeah, you're gonna notice different things if you're.
Yeah. Also depending on where you live.
Exactly. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That
Let
means
us-
exactly or right, like
Yeah.
in German.
Yeah.
We say that a lot.
So let us know if you have any more points that we
Yeah.
can include and what your experience kind of has been if you moved to Canada from like another
Part of the world. We'll compare.
Sounds good.
Cool.
So talk to you soon.
Until next time.
Bye.
Cheers.
All right, good stuff. Let me know your thoughts on all my observations and comments and questions throughout the video. It's interesting. I can relate. I definitely understood all of those references that they were making, and it makes a lot of sense. We'll see you all on the next one. Tschüss.